Hello and welcome back to Ranting About Nothing, and today I'm going to be talking about Alien Covenant. Before I do, let me express my feelings towards the first Alien film by Ridley Scott. It was an amazing film that did not need a sequel or to be rebooted. It should have just been left alone. Now I'm going to be making an unfair comparison to the original film to its sequel or reboot. But one of the reasons why the original worked so well was its use of a claustrophobic environment, a likable cast, and a terrifying creature of unknown origins. Unfortunately, no one told that 21st century folks that no one wanted an origin story for the alien. So we ended up with Prometheus, which was considered by most people to be an outright disaster. So it makes completely sense to make a sequel to this movie, and so this is how we end up with the movie, which I'm also basically talking about, Okay, that was enough ending. Anyway, before I go, I might warn you that I might spoil some of the plots in the movies, so I recommend you to go watch the movie first. I can wait for you for a while. Anyway, so our story begins with a colonist ship that runs into some trouble, which results in the death of a crew member. Eventually they receive a mysterious message, just like in the first film, and decide to go down and investigate the planet, encountering a few aliens, including a new type of alien that infects its host by spraying spores, which is a really interesting idea. It's just a shame that the film completely ignores this, and rather goes back to status quo. The main plot of the film focuses on the android from Prometheus, which I have completely forgotten his name, and honestly I can't really be bothered anyway to remember. It turns out that he's been messing around with the alien genetics. He claims because humanity is a dying species. Even though I don't remember any scenes in the film really that shows humanity in any bad situation on Earth, so the likeness of which it left me kind of confused. So I really chalked up his whole reasons towards daddy issues. They supposedly explain this more of his backstory in a YouTube video, which just raises the question, why didn't they just add that to the actual film, rather than just putting it as a YouTube thing? I know films have a certain limit that basically books and televisions don't have, but honestly I think sometimes there's some things that you do have to add to films to basically explain things. Now, the actors in this film do a pretty good enough job, especially the people who play the crew members. It's just a shame, once again, there's a YouTube video that explores them a lot more than the film does. And once again, this just raises questions why they didn't just add this to the film. The actor who really takes away the scene is the guy who plays the android. He's an amazing actor. He also plays besides himself, which I probably forgot to mention that they have their own android, which is the same model as him, but supposedly a little bit better. And those two just do an amazing, like I said, performance, and it's probably one of the highlights of the film. Now, the one thing I should say about this film is that it is once again directed by Ridley Scott, if I remember that right, and it shows in his filmography as it's beautiful and quite elegant. Even though I gotta admit the film does rather heavily rely on gore, and I'm not a big gore fan, but I didn't mind it, but it just seemed a little bit over top, as most of the crew members there, like I said previously, just seemed to be there just to be killed off. And they also do a lot of stupid things that just make me question a lot of things about them. In general, I find that the CGI used for the aliens is not too bad, especially for the new design of the alien, which is unfortunately ignored, like I previously said again. But the whole thing is just not too badly done, and the biggest problem I really should mention about this movie is just how it does not honestly make any sense towards the whole Alien universe in general, and in my honest opinion should be just considered to be a reboot to the whole Alien franchise. Now, I'm going to finish up this horrible review by saying, in my honest opinion, this is not a bad film to watch. In my general opinion, I don't think this is a must-watch, but if you have nothing else better to do and just want a goofy sort of science fiction horror film that tries its best but doesn't quite deliver, I would recommend this film for you. See you then, and for another review.